I told my sister that if she sets one foot inside my nephew's wedding, I'll drag her out of it myself. My family thinks I'm the asshole. I'm 47F. My nephew Joey, 21, is getting married in 2 weeks, and his mother Judy, 45, is trying to come. But I've adamantly told her not to because of how much shit she's put him through in recent years. When Joey was 18, he was in a car crash with his father. His father died a few days later, and Joey was also hurt, but obviously survived. I know all of this was triggered by my sister's grief, and I am trying to be mindful of that. First, she purposely missed his high school graduation because she couldn't imagine being there without his father. Joey was understanding, and thankfully me and his girlfriend, now fiancé's family, were there for him. Judy insisted on still hosting a graduation party a week or so later. I wasn't able to get there until towards the end. When I got there, most of the guests had left, and Judy was a drunken mess and was wailing about her husband's death. I told Joey to pack a bag and to come to my house for the weekend, which he did. Judy swore she would do better and begged him to come back home, which again, he did. A couple months went by, and Joey asked if I could drive him to work because his car had been totaled. He looked terrible when I got him, so I asked him what was up. He said he'd been working 70 hours a week because Judy had gotten laid off. I asked him how his car got totaled, and he said Judy had crashed it driving intoxicated. At that point, our mom and I sat down with her to try to get her into some sort of treatment or counseling, and she agreed. But we later learned she never went. I take partial responsibility for not following up. Some months later, Joey called me again, this time for a ride to the courthouse to get Judy out of jail. All he said was she had gotten drunk and got herself arrested. But when I picked him up, he had fresh cuts on his arm and jawline. Turns out she assaulted him when he refused to get her more to drink. I begged him to come stay with me, but Judy insisted she would get help if he would stay and help her, which he did. I would call and talk to Joey once or twice a week to make sure he and Judy were safe. She didn't go into treatment, but he said things had calmed down. After a few months, he stopped responding to calls and only sent short text responses. Sometime later, those stopped too. Throughout all of this, he has been supported by his fiancée. I started getting my updates on Joey's well-being through her occasional social media posts. They got engaged, and her family is paying for the small, intimate wedding and reception they've chosen to have. As far as I knew, things were better. He seemed happy in her posts. I was blindsided about 2 weeks ago when Joey's fiancée called me. She said Joey needed my help and asked if she could drive him over to my house. When they got there, he was shaking, hyperventilating, and threw up multiple times. When he finally calmed down, he said his mother had gone into a drunken rage some weeks ago and started trying to rip and burn everything left of her husband's. When Joey stopped her, she started wrecking his stuff. All the while, she was screaming that she wanted her husband back and wished Joey had died instead. She was blaming him for the crash, the whole 9 yards. Joey said this has been going on for months, and the night prior to his girlfriend bringing him to me, he came home and found that she had burned all of his father's pictures, old clothes, everything. I went to confront Judy. She agreed once again to enter treatment, and this time she followed through. Joey has been staying with me since. Every time I ask about the wedding or his girlfriend goes over plans with him, he turns pale and miserable. I asked him what was up with that. He wouldn't really answer, but I asked if it was because his mom. I asked if he wanted her off the guest list. He didn't have it in him to flat out say yes, but the look on his face said it all. Judy called him earlier today, gushing about how excited she is for the wedding and that she's picked out her dress and wants a mother-groom dance. Joey told her not to come. She went all weepy and started begging. At that point, I asked him to give me the phone, and I flat out told her that if she sets foot in that wedding, I will personally drag her out of it. This has caused a stir in our family. Our other siblings think I have influenced Joey, and I should convince him to let her come if she promises to behave. I told them all that since they've helped him very little and don't know his side of things, then they can kiss my ass. Ada. Relevant comments. Will there be alcohol at the wedding? It will be a dry wedding. Joey won't go near alcohol for obvious reasons, and his fiancée is a sweet religious type. That said, I worry Judy would show up already hammered. The accident and who was driving. Unfortunately, Joey was driving when they were hit, But the crash was 100% not his fault. His father was on blood thinners and had internal injuries, just lost too much blood and couldn't recover. Joey broke his wrist and had some burn from the seatbelt, but was otherwise fine. Why didn't anyone ask Joey to move in with them until his mom got help? Why didn't anyone ask Joey to move in with them until his mom got help? No judgment at all, hun. He was invited to stay with me every time. I'd try to talk him out of going back while trying to walk that fine line between him being an adult, but also still young. Is he in a rush to get married to get away from his mom? Is he in a rush to get married to get away from his mom? I don't believe so. He's been with his fiancée since they were 16. Despite his circumstances, he knows what he is doing. They planned on having a longer engagement, but logistically they're in a position to just do the darn thing, though yes, they are both young. Where was the support for your sister in all of this? It seems like she was just told to get therapy, but nothing else. I'm glad you asked, and I don't think it's controversial at all. There was support for her. I lived with them for the first 2 weeks to help her take care of the house and arrangements. We have 2 other siblings who visited periodically. She was very quick to insist she no longer needed help after that. We backed off. Similar to Joey in this situation, she would call if she needed to talk, or needed the house cleaned or anything. But those became less and less until help was met with frustration. I think all of that was normal. Extra support was offered during holidays and anniversaries. When it became obvious she needed help beyond me is when we suggested therapy, as that's all we knew to do at that point. And I agree, I lack sympathy for her now. What I did have has been buried by anger for how she's treated Joey and his fiancée. She has been nothing but cruel to that girl, which is weird to me because she is angry at her for taking away her boy, but is equally driving him away. It's all a mess, but right now, I only have the strength and patience for Joey and his fiancée. Update 1. Update 1. I know a few of you are concerned. Any good vibes, well wishes, or whatever you believe in for Joey would be appreciated. He insists it's a stomach bug going around, but he has been nauseous all day at work, but won't leave. He refuses to block Judy, and she has been calling him every few hours. He's not answering, but he's worried blocking her will put her over the edge. I'm trying to work with her to get his things from her house, but she won't speak to me. She will only speak to Joey, who won't speak to her. So I'm letting her cool off for a few days. Goodness knows I need to before I rip her a new one. Thankfully, his essentials are here at my house, so there isn't anything he needs. As far as I know, this is his last week working before he gets some time off before the wedding. They'll be moving his fiancée into the apartment they're leasing next week, and he'll join her after her wedding. She's religious. He says he's feeling excited to get to those things. Text update. Me. Checking in, are you sober? Sis. Yes, goddamn. Me. I'm just asking, so can I come get his stuff, please? One less thing on your plate. Sis. No, he can call or text me and he can arrange to come get his shot. Until then, you are not permitted to... Me. For fuck's sake. He has been paying to keep a roof over your head for how long? And this is how you act? Why can't you set everything out for me to pick up for him? Then you don't have to see either of us? I know you're going through a hard time too, but you're making it harder for no reason. Sis, a hard time? My son won't let me come to his one and only wedding, and you're backing him up, so I'm having a very hard time, thanks me. Okay, you're having a very hard time. I can't even imagine. He is also going through a hard time. He's been throwing up sick at work for 2 days to pay your bills after you told him he would be better off dead to you? As his mother? You're going to leave me no choice but to come with the fucking police to get his stuff. Sis, I don't give a fuck. I want to talk to my son. Me. Well, he doesn't want to talk to you. I'll be around with some officers this weekend. Let me know if you change your mind. For once, I wish you would think of your son. Sis, tell him to think of and call his mother me. I'm not doing that. If you want to talk to him, then get your fucking shit together. Update 1. I wish they would postpone the wedding. I wish they would too. Joey is convinced he can pull himself together for it. I asked if they could, and he said his fiancée's parents would forfeit their deposits on everything. The venue, catering, etc. We'll see. I'm hoping it can still be a great day for them. More info and therapy. More info and therapy. The more I talk to them both about it, the more I think that once the wedding got to be about a month out, Judy lost it and started dragging Joey down with her. He held it together until he just couldn't. Now they're too far in to push anything back. His soon-to-be FIL is connecting him with a good therapist. His FIL and Mel are absolute saints. Has sister had a mental health evaluation? Any update on her? Has sister had a mental health evaluation? Any update on her? I know she's been sober for a couple of weeks, which means the most recent rage, the one that sent him over the edge, was not fueled by alcohol, and she's supposed to be following up with a rehab program. She won't do inpatient, but I'm convinced that's what she needs. Update 2. Update 2. First, Joe spent 2 days stomach sick but kept working so he could pay his mom's mortgage one more time. So that was lovely for him. Judy and I went back and forth about trying to get his things back. I was planning on going with Joey to get his things with the police yesterday. The police said Joey had to be there since it's his property. However, Judy insisted that she had taken everything to a dumpster and not to bother. I asked Joey what he wanted to do in case she was lying, and he said not to go since there wasn't anything very valuable or that he couldn't live without. Then she had the nerve to text him last night, asking one more time to reconsider allowing her to come to her wedding. When he didn't respond, she said he was not just being hateful to her, but also to his late father, because, as she put it, having me there is like having him there in spirit. Joey said no, and finally put his foot down, telling her that her bills were paid for the month and that he's blocking her. I sent her a hell of a message myself, that I don't regret, and haven't heard from her at all today. I will not be blocking her, despite how some readers might feel I do care about her and want to check in to make sure she is safe. Joey's been moving his fiancée into their apartment today. I've checked in a couple times, and he says it's going well. Sent me a picture of them smiling with moving boxes as proof. And for anyone wondering, I have asked a friend, who is a retired officer, to come to the wedding to watch for her. Granted, she doesn't have a car right now. The venue is also aware. I feel okay about that, but honestly I feel like I am going to have a hard time watching the ceremony and not being out there myself keeping watch, but I am going to try my damn hardest. Judy knows not to cross me like that, so I know seeing me at the door will turn her away. But hopefully that won't even be necessary. Post-text update. Mother, keeping me out of your wedding day is just like keeping your dad and his memory out in spirit, so you're not just being hateful to me, you're being hateful to him. Think about that. While you still have time to, for fuck's sake, Joey. Okay, that's fine. Mortgage and cell phone bill are paid for January. Utilities too. Blocking you now. I hope you get help. Bye, Mom. OOP's final text to her sis. If there are any photos left that you did not burn of you all as a family when Jay was young, please take some time to look at them. Then imagine someone hurting that sweet little boy you both loved, because that's exactly what you've been doing all these years. His father would be crushed. Absolutely crushed. I know I am. I know Jay is. Get fucking help. Then get on your fucking knees and pray that someday your son might forgive you if you can ever learn to love him again. You can call or text me if you need help, and to let me know you're safe. Otherwise, just get some fucking help and stay out of Jay's new life. Update 3. Well, the day started with me receiving multiple calls and texts from Judy, ranging from apologies to calling me every name in the book for keeping her away from her son on his big day. I reminded her to stay away, and that if she didn't, she would be ushered out. By me, if it came down to it. I told other relatives that if they dared to bring her, they would be kicked out, and they'd probably never hear from Joey again. All that said, Joey and his wife did the damn thing. They had an amazing, small, intimate wedding. I haven't cried since my dad died decades ago, and today I was a weepy mess, but in the best way. I cried through the ceremony. I cried when I saw the reception with tables for board games. That's so damn creative, at least I think so. Joey and wifey, despite the odds against them, had a great day. Joey was truly happy for the first time in far too long. Final update. Last night was it. Joey and his wife tied the knot, and it was a lovely evening for everyone. I sobbed all throughout. These two have been together since early high school, so seeing them commit to each other was awesome. And Joey looked and sounded truly happy, something I haven't seen in quite some time.